Hello and welcome to the traffic scoping meeting for the Greenstone Kaiser change of conditions. My name is Ann Winkler. I'm a traffic engineer at Sunburst Engineering, and in this presentation I will be going through a history of the project and the reason why we're doing a traffic impact analysis for this change of conditions. Please feel free to look at the other aspects of this website and feel free to read any of the documents and so forth that are posted there. I'm hoping to receive input from you who use the transportation system in the area to make sure that we have addressed the intersections that you know of that might have problems that can be made worse by this particular project. So I look forward to your input, and I will keep the website updated with the input that I receive. Thanks so much. Let's begin. There are two purposes for this meeting. The first is to introduce you to the project, and the second is to get your input as it relates to traffic so that we can complete the traffic impact analysis report. The property that we're going to be talking about today is shown in red. The little tail that goes to the south is a road right-of-way that will be developed with this project. The little square that's out of it is the Costco property that's already in place and is not a part of this proposal. So let's talk about the history of this property. Many years ago, there was a aluminum plant that was owned by the Kaiser property that's located to the south here. It's a heavy industrial usage, and in order to interact well with the neighbors, Kaiser chose to buy property all around it so that no one would have to be very close to the plant. So this property was owned by Kaiser for many years, but after they closed their plant, they no longer needed this property, and so they decided that they would look to change the zoning from heavy industrial to a portion that's light industrial on the southern end and mixed use and the rest of it. Mixed use includes a wide variety of land uses, everywhere from shopping centers to single-family detached housing. This is more or less what was planned there, but again, mixed use allows for these uses to be located anywhere on the site. But this is a pretty typical planning of what might go on that site. When that proposal was put forward, a traffic study, traffic impact analysis, similar to what we're doing here, was done, and it included all of these 28 intersections plus the access points. If you'll notice near the upper left corner, there's an intersection listed as Highway 2 in Pittsburgh. That was back when Pittsburgh tied in from the west side of Highway 2. At this point in time, that connection has been severed, but the new road that is by the Costco is called Pittsburgh now. Note that in addition to these 28 intersections, the access points are not listed. Note also that this study was done really before the NSC was in place enough to be able to get any meaningful traffic counts. So out of those 28 intersections, the ones that are shown in red are the ones where mitigation was shown to be necessary because of the proposal put forward. These included Highway 2 and Farwell to the north of the property, the US 2 in Pittsburgh, Highway 2 in Nevada, Highway 2 in Hawthorne, US 395 in Hawthorne, which the proposed mitigation has been implemented by others since that time, and also Wall and Country Homes. There was no mitigation needed at any of the other intersections. So I want you to keep that in mind as we're talking about what we need to include in the traffic study that hasn't already been thought of in our meetings with the agencies. One of the other things that happened after the zoning was put into place was a binding site plan. And at this time, the Greenstone Corporation is proposing to buy the property that's located in the dark black line, the thick black line, and then the rest of it would remain in Kaiser's hands. As many of you know, Greenstone is known for its housing and mixed-use development, which is what's planned on the Greenstone portion of the site. And Kaiser is keeping land that they're hoping to develop into more retail and office uses. Let's talk about the access points. So we've got Pittsburgh at Highway 2, which is where the roundabout is right now, serving the Costco. There's a second deeded access onto Highway 2 near the southern end of the site. There's also a third access point to Farwell, that's at Crestline, and that is right now limited to right in and right out. As part of this traffic study, we're proposing to add a left in at that location. And the last access point is at Helena, is how it's going to be listed at Hawthorne. That intersection may become signalized at some time in the future. You'll notice that there's also a road that connects from Farwell through the site to the Helena entrance point, and that is planned to be developed by Greenstone and will serve certainly their portion of the site, but also the remaining Kaiser property as well. So what are the changes of condition that these changes of condition actually run with the binding site plan? One of them is the land use mix allowed on the site. So the previous uses were general light industrial and shopping center. We ended up with only senior housing as well as a variety of office buildings. The proposed uses are 1,440 housing units that are the types of those units will be determined based on market forces and will be developed in keeping with Greenstone's normal way of doing business. On the Kaiser property, they are proposing 1,195,000 square feet of development. This could be a mix of commercial, office, and retail. Again, the mixed-use zoning that's presently in place will allow any of those uses. There is a separate land use action that's underway right now at Spokane County to change the light industrial zoning along the southern access, the southern portion of the site, and to make that into mixed use. The second change of conditions are the requirements for additional traffic study. So the way that the condition previously, right now, it says that a new traffic study is needed every 5 years. The proposal is that the project, as it's presently proposed, can use this traffic study throughout the life of the project, that we don't have to go back and do traffic and update the traffic studies as time goes along. So let's talk about what the scope of the study is right now. We have met with the DOT and Spokane County and asked for their input on what intersections should be included. We proposed the access points plus the interchange locations to the NSC, both at Farwell and at Parksmith, as well as Highway 2 and Farwell. In meeting with the agencies, they proposed that we add the 2 access points to the Camelot neighborhood, as well as Nevada and Highway 2, Hawthorne Highway 2, and Wallen Country Homes. Those 3 intersections had mitigation in the last traffic study, so it makes sense to add them to this study. We think that this is a good scope when we look at how this lays in with the previous traffic study that was done. We see that we're including the intersections that required mitigation, as well as the new NSC connections, which were not available for study the last time around, as well as the intersections that serve Camelot. So we think we've got a good scope, but again, we want to hear from you guys. If you have concerns about, any kind of traffic concerns, please bring them forward, whether it's snowy conditions in the wintertime or hills or anything like that. Please let us know any of that kind of input and we will include it in the study. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please use the method on the site to get back to me, and I'll update the site with the input that we've received. Thanks for your attendance.